David, another aspect that is very important for disease prevention is nutrition. So are you guys feeding differently your periparturient cows, say your cows close to calving and your cows in early lactation, also known as fresh cows?
So we have different diets here. We have the milking diet, we have our dry cow diets, our close-up cows, close-up heifers, our fresh diet. And all of those have their roles. They're all specific for their area. So really kind of looking at the close-up diet, we have our anionic salts. We're checking the cow's urine pHs to make sure that that always stays in line, because that'll affect a lot on the freshing side. Fresh cow diets, we try to keep those as kind of middle of the road so cows have a good transition. And then another interesting fact kind of on our high diets that we've seen here on our milking cows is the cows don't need quite as much energy here, just due to the lack of stress. Since the cows are not stressing in the barn, they're not standing as much, they're not burning nearly as much energy, so we don't have to put as much energy in the diet, and the cows still keep their body condition really well.
David, you mentioned earlier that you guys feed anionic salts prior to calving in pregnant cows in the close-up pen, and you check urine pH to make sure that they are working. Why do you guys feed anionic salts?
So we feed the anionic salts to really prevent metabolic disorders. So milk fever being the biggest one, which we'll always watch, and if we have one or two, then we know we need to go check our pHs, urine pHs on the close-ups to try to dial that in. And then also displaced abomasums, DAs, and really we see it in everything, retains as well. So if we haven't done a great job through the transition, we'll see a lot more fresh cow metabolic disorders. And so that's the main reason, and it's something that's continuously trying to dial it in and keep it based on how our forages are.
And with regards to your early lactation cows, that you have them in the fresh pen for, I don't know how long, do you have it for 21 days? Or in that moment, it's very important to try to maximize dry matter intake. Do you guys try to use very digestible forages with those that group of cows?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're always trying to have great digestible forages for all our milking cows. But that's an area we really want to make sure we don't sacrifice, and we really want to make sure that's perfect, even when we haven't been able to grow completely high quality forage for everything. So we're unique in this area. We grow a lot of Bermuda grass, coastal varieties. So that's Tifton or Jigs or just regular Bermuda grass. So that's one thing we feed a lot of here. We feed it in silage mainly, and then to our fresh cows we'll feed a little bit as hay as well, just to get a little bit more of that effective fiber. And then obviously high quality corn silage, and that gets fed, to all our cows, as well as our coastal silage, that gets fed to all of our high cows as well. And we've just found that works really well. We don't really grow alfalfa well here because of our lack of water, but we can do Bermuda grass really well.
David, another aspect that is important for disease prevention is, keeping the environment of cows clean, and also with regards to the heat abatement technologies they may have a maintenance. What is that maintenance that you have for pen cleanliness and for the heat abatement equipment?
So something we really focus on, kind of a broad answer to your question, is really making sure our employees always have good tools. Because if they don't have the right equipment and tools to do their jobs, then they don't do a great job, and in the end, everybody's unhappy. So for example, a good vacuum machine, we vacuum all our manure lanes, and we have a spare machine, so they can always get on a spare and use that one as well. We do maintenance, making sure all our headlocks are always good for the cows, not that we have headlocks that aren't functioning and then there's cows that cannot eat in a certain space, so that we use the full amount of our space there. We clean our fans to make sure they're always moving the same amount of airflow, so we try to clean them twice a year. Just in general, again, making sure providing our employees with the right tools. It keeps the employees happy and it keeps the cows happy.
And we saw the vacuum cleaner cleaning the pens. How often do they clean the pens? Is it once a day or?
So in the summer we clean them twice a day. Every time the cows get out to get milked, we'll clean them twice a day. And in the winter we'll actually clean them 4 times a day on the headlock side where the cows eat, because in the summer the soakers actually wash some of the manure out, which in the winter doesn't. So then we go through to clean them more to really make sure that they stay as clean as possible.
How about bedding management? You guys also have some bedding, which is considered the gold standard. How do you think that affects line time, but also how important is the maintenance, and what maintenance do you guys do to the line surface?
We have really fine sand here, and we put sand in twice a week, And then when the cows get out to get milked, we rake any manure off the beds that cows have that did land in the beds. So we keep them clean like that. That's really about all we have to do. We don't have to go through with like a mechanical rake on a skid steer. We don't have to do any of that just because our sand is so fine